Hello everyone, this is Gary from Fantastic Fundas, and in this lecture we are going to talk about the revolutionary nationalism. Okay, now this is going to be one amazing lecture because whatever I'm going to talk to you over here, you will actually feel that we were about to achieve freedom in the second decade of the 20th century, but then we had to reach 1947. That you already know. Okay, but let us presume that so I'll create that circumstance in front of you. You really feel that we are going to get the freedom now. आपको ऐसा महसूस होगा कि हमें आज़ादी अभी मिल जाएगी, लेकिन कुछ हो जाएगा कि आज़ादी हमें मिल नहीं पाएगी. एकदम क्लाइमेक्स ज़बरदस्त माहौल हो जाएगा अभी. Okay, so we begin with it. First of all, I'll just give you quick background. We know that there was formation of so many organizations, right? Plus there was so many reforms, socio-economic, political, religious. All those reforms were sought, given, done away. I mean, so many things were done in that. And then after these organizational reform came many organizations. Okay, I already written it. Then came Indian National Congress, and then came the phase of the moderates. We have read about them. Okay, and then also came the phase of the extremists. But all this failed, especially and they did not achieve freedom. They could not give the real leadership. I'm just going to tell you about the reason that these people failed. Okay, I have already done that, but I'll just give a quick reference to that. And all this finally culminates into what is called as the revolutionary nationalism. It's an amazing part of our history. Actually, it's more of a this part of the history is more of a romantic phase of the history. Okay, it's more about romanticism. That is why this phase of the history is very, very popular in even today. Okay, so what happens in this phase is, you see, this is you can say that this was the phase when there was the politics of bomb had started. Okay, politics of bomb, or I can tell you that, or you can also say there was the cult of bomb according to other people. ठीक है जी, तो यहाँ पर ये हो गया. बट वाई वॉज दिस हैपनिंग? सी, बिकॉज वेरी सिंपल, because extremists, these people, they were not able to give good leadership. Let me just change the color and show it to you. These people were not able to give good leadership. So what they lacked was, okay, let me just write it again clearly. They were lacking in leadership, right? They could not see if they could provoke people, they could incite people, but then they did not know what to do with the energy of the people who are already incited, what to do, who are people who are provoked. Okay, they failed to use their energy. Then there was also government repression at this time. And then I'm talking about why are extremists failing. Extremists should have been successful, but they failed. And what led to revolutionary nationalism? So we see that there is repression, there is frustration among the people, because all the other methods of fighting the Britishers, they had failed. So because of these reasons, we will see so many things happening. See, there is more to it actually. And for example, at this time, they were not able to give. One thing was, they were not able to move the masses. For example, they were not able to move the peasant, which were the main part of the masses, or this movement, their movement were confined to urban lower and middle class zamindar. So their movement, the extremist movement, was confined to urban and lower middle class, or let's say middle class. Okay, urban areas में थी, and it was in the lower class and the middle class. Okay, so and that too in urban areas only. That is the point, right? And there was a political deadlock. We know this, the Surat split had happened, and everyone was disenchanted and nothing is going to work. And then moreover, the extremists, who were the main extremists, I told you about them. Let me just write it here. Okay, they were Lal, Bal, Pal and Ghosh. What had happened? Lala Lajpat Rai was deported. Bipin Chandra Pal, the Bal Gangadhar Tilak and Bipin Chandra Pal, they were sorry, Bipin Chandra Pal. Okay, Bal Gangadhar Tilak, he was arrested. Okay, and Bipin Chandra Pal and Ghosh, they retired. So these people retired. So there was no leadership left now. Okay, but what had really happened, that people what had happened, that people were awakened from their lumber, okay, people were slumber, right, people were awakened from their slumber. लोग जाग चुके हैं, अब लड़ने को तैयार हैं, और हम लड़ेंगे भी अब आगे जाके यहाँ पे, और हम देखेंगे कि अब हम यहाँ पे लड़ाई कैसे करेंगे. दिस इज द बिगनिंग ऑफ द कल्ट ऑफ द बॉम्ब और द पॉलिटिक्स ऑफ द बॉम्ब. एंड ट्रस्ट मी, you will go crazy when you read this, because see, there is a reason for this, because this is so catchy. This is this incites the imagination of the people, of the society, of the people who are very very aggressive. Okay, so this is how it is. Now what is happening, let me tell you how it all really starts. Like it all had started much earlier, right? But I'll keep on mentioning some of the events that happened. For example, you see, all the peaceful protest and action that was blocked, right? And out of desperation, all these people, they went into what is known as the heroic action, and this was by the individuals. These were not mass actions, first of all, okay. And then what more happened at this time, they believed in physically expelling Britishers, okay. So they wanted to throw away Britishers. Now please understand that it might be that we can today easily think that it was not possible to physically throw away Britishers. You just cannot push them that ways by use of force. It is almost impossible. By use of force is never going to help. For example, let's talk about United States fighting in Afghanistan. Even after so many fights in Afghanistan, there was so much of bloodshed and money lost, and then after years and years of fighting, USA could eliminate partially the terrorists from the Afghanistan. Same way, Indians wanted to throw Britishers away out of India and this way only, by fighting them. But this is not possible. First of all, we were not having so much of money with us. Second, there were not a huge human resource possible in our country. People were not really awakened, though to some extent they were, but not really awakened. That is why the violent method of struggle against the Britishers would not have worked, and that is why we'll find later on that why this fails and why this gets successful. This revolutionary nationalism. So what is happening here is, let's begin with the heroic action. What kind of heroic action was there? There was something called Anushilan Samiti. Okay, Anushilan Samiti. What is this Samiti? Anushilan Samiti, bodybuilding society, bodybuilding. This is about bodybuilding. It was a health club, and actually it was a secret society, okay. And some what are Samitis? We talked about it. Samitis are they're corps of volunteers for mass mobilization, okay. For mass mobilization, they would incite people, sing great songs, and give lectures and speeches to provoke people and to fight Britishers, okay. And similarly, if you remember that at the time of Swadeshi movement, only many Samitis were set up. At the time of Swadeshi movement, I recall earlier we did this thing, that there was Swadesh Bandhav Samitis, Swadesh Bandhav Samiti, and this was by Ashwini Kumar Dutt, A.K. Dutt. We did this already, okay. So anyway, right, so Anushilan Samiti, okay, and they were this writing in this Yugantar, okay, that it was in 1906, and what had happened, that there was a provincial conference going on at a place called Barisal. And in this Barisal conference, it was said that the 30 crore of people of inhabiting India must raise 60 crore of their hand to stop this curse of oppression. Force must be stopped by force. 30 crore of people must raise 60 crore of their hand. Just write this much, okay. 30 crore of people of inhabiting India must raise 60 crore of their hands to stop the curse of oppression. Force must be stopped by force. That was their idea. Okay, please remember this quote that I just spoken. Force must be stopped by force. That actually sums up the whole philosophy of the revolutionary nationalism. Okay, so what had happened after Yugantar wrote this, at the same time there were many popular the international happenings were becoming popular in India. For example, the Irish nationalists became popular in India, or the Russian nihilists came popular in India, okay. These were the Russian revolutionary groups who were fighting in their countries. We were inspired by them. Russian nihilists were copied by India. Okay, so what is happening, that it all that then started rather than focusing on mass revolution, the focus of the revolutionary terrorism was on the revolutionary nationalism, was on the heroic individualism. And the first instance of this thing that which was inspired by all this, you can see that in 1899, when Chapekar brothers, please, I hope you remember that Chapekar brothers assassinated General Rand over the plague issue. Okay, I hope you remember this, right? And then for what will happen following following these people. See, what was their idea, Irish nationalists and Russian nihilists, that if you kill a person, that is their philosophy, if you kill a person, it would spread the terror, and once the terror is there, the oppressors who were the original terror creators, they would run away, they would go away. Okay, so these people, Indians started following these people, and we started assassinating, marna shuru kar diya humne, or of the British officials. We started killing Britishers over here, and this assassination of unpopular British officials, it would strike terror in their heart. And not just this, we expected, one, that it was strike terror in the heart of the Britishers. Number two, that it would rise a patriotic agent, patriotic feelings. Okay, in the people of India. And then it was a propaganda by deed. It was not just spoken words that were into action. Obviously आज़ादी आने वाली है, propaganda हो गया, चारों तरफ लोग जाग गए मेरे देश के, और हर तरफ ब्रिटिश भी डर गए हैं, British are worried, scared now, and all this encourages individual patriotism. But it failed, though it failed to provide people to provide them with a channel for their energies. Okay, that was their weakness anyway. Now they failed to oppose the notion, right? Basically, these individual heroics, they failed to oppose the notion that normal people thought that a revolution. See, this is what normal people think. Revolution means violence. No, but at that time, even these people, the revolutionary nationalists, they could not really understand this. They maybe understood, they were not able to explain it to people that revolution does not necessarily mean violence. See, I'll mention you about Bhagat Singh. I have read his book, Why I Am an Atheist, his pamphlet, maybe 100 times by now. Okay, and in that, if you read that, Bhagat Singh believed absolutely in non-violence, and Gandhi even corroborated that Bhagat Singh believed in non-violence. His concept of and second, his concept was of atheism. Okay, let's leave that for now. So he understood this thing, right, that the revolution is never for violence. In fact, the bomb he threw in the assembly, which you all know later, it was harmless bomb. Anyway, coming back to this lecture, in 1904 there's another thing happened, and this time it was the V.D. Savarkar. How can you forget his name? V.D. Savarkar. He organized this brilliant, which is known as the first of all, he organized Mitra Mela. It was a secret organization organizing this terrorism activities, revolutionary terrorism, revolutionary nationalism activities. And this is V.D. Savarkar doing it. Later on, he organizes another society which is called as the Abhinav Bharat Society, and this Mitra Mela is merged into the Abhinav Bharat Society only, right? And in fact, V.D. Savarkar also wrote this book, 1857, the First War of Independence. The First War of Independence. And this was published somewhere in 1906-7, right? The First War of Indian Independence is very important. This book can be asked in your paper. Okay, and Savarkar is also the man behind the Hindu nationalist political ideology. Okay, Hindu nationalistic political ideology, and he's with his brother. All this he organizes Abhinav Bharat. Okay, and in fact, this was made in 1899, and it was in 1904 that Mitra Mela merged into this one. Okay. Now, what is more happening? It's not just that everywhere, whether it's Nasik or Pune or Bombay, everywhere you had the bombs being made. The bombs were being made, Nasik, Pune and Bombay, everywhere this was happening. And not just this, plus many revolutionary newspapers, they started supporting the revolutionary nationalism. Newspapers started supporting revolutionary nationalism. For example, in Bengal, if you talk about it, the newspaper which really was supporting was the Yugantar, or in in Maharashtra it was Kal newspaper which was supporting the revolutionary nationalism and promoting it. Nationalism, it spread so much, people were so fed up with the moderate and the extremist that they bring up this 1908. What happens? Two great warriors of India, Praful Chakki, and do you know the other name? His name was Khudi Ram Bose. You know what they did? They killed Judge Kingsford. What was his name? Please remember this name. This can be asked in paper. Judge Kingsford. You know, he was very unpopular. He had done a lot of injustice to people of India. At Muzaffarpur, he was a judge at Muzaffarpur. Okay, so what is happening? But you know, they were mistaken. In fact, they thought that judge is sitting in that some carriage. In fact, two ladies were sitting in that, and they had so much of repentance that Praful Chakki, he committed suicide, and Bose, you know, he was arrested, he was tried, and he was hung. Okay, how can we forget their contribution to our freedom struggle? Because this provoked people to fight for the nation. Their contribution is amazing. Okay, then there was another great warrior of our freedom struggle. His name is Bagh Jatan. His original name is Jatindranath Mukherjee. But please understand one amazing thing about this whole thing, that he's called as Bagh Jatin. Bagh means tiger. So he was such a warrior. That is how it is. Okay, and he was arrested in Howrah conspiracy case, and this is also known as the Howrah Shibpur conspiracy case. Okay, Howrah Shibpur conspiracy case, and it was in 1910. Later on he was acquitted because it was not proved that he had done some mistake over there. Okay, he was such a fighter. He gave his life fighting with Britishers. He died while fighting with the Britishers at the Balasore. So that was a great contribution by the Bagh Jatin. He was the fearless warrior of India. Okay, and then at the same time, you know, Lala Lajpat Rai, he was also very active in Punjab. Okay, and he was becoming a national leader by now. And Lala Lajpat Rai, he published short biographies. Okay, short biographies. What was he writing? On whom was this? These were on the people who were the great warriors of India. Shivaji, or you know, even outsider Italians. Okay, Garibaldi. Okay, let me just write it clearly. Garibaldi. Then Mazzini was there. So on these people he wrote short biographies, and these aroused the people of India. He then sets up this thing. He was very, very active in United States of America, and he there sets as Home Rule League of America. Lala Lajpat Rai sets this. Do not confuse it with the Home Rule League, which we'll be talking in the coming lectures. This is the Home Rule League of America set by Lala Lajpat Rai in 1917. Lala Lajpat Rai, he wrote a book. The name of the book was Young India book. It was published in America only. See, Young India was also a magazine. Young India was also a newspaper, a journal which was published by Gandhi, and Gandhi did this in 1919 to 1932. After this, Gandhi was publishing Harijan, but Young India was a book also published by Lala Lajpat Rai at this time. Okay, that is how it goes. And Lalaji also started this newspaper which was called Punjabi, Punjabee. Okay, Punjabi newspaper was started by Lala Lajpat Rai, and not just Punjabi newspaper was started by Lala Lajpat Rai, and what was his name? Lala Jaswant Rai. Okay, Lala Jaswant Rai. For those who do not understand Jaswant, let me write the spelling. Lala Jaswant Rai. These are the people behind Punjabi newspaper, and he wrote many books. For example, Lala Lajpat Rai at this time he's writing these books. For example, he wrote this the English Debt to India. Okay, English Debt to India. English Debt to India. English Debt to India. अंग्रेजों का जो ऋण है हिंदुस्तानियों को जो वो देना चाहते हैं, that is talking about English Debt to India. The Political Future of India, that's another book Lala Lajpat Rai ji writes. Okay, The Political Future of India. Even to this date, Lala Lajpat Rai ji is respected greatly, especially in the northern India, especially in the Punjab area. Okay, that is how it went. Then, not just this, okay. After this, what goes on? There were new secret societies forming all over the country. As I talked to you about Anushilan Samiti, okay, and Anushilan Samiti, which I mentioned earlier, also Anushilan Samiti. This Anushilan Samiti had more than 500 branches in just Dhaka. You can imagine the size of the Anushilan Samiti over here. Okay, that is how it went, right? And then there were also another one which was called Jugantar. See, one is Jugantar, that is a publication. This is Jugantar. This is a secret society, and it was formed in 1906. It was formed in Bengal. You can guess that by the spelling Jugantar. And then who made it? Obviously, our dear Ghosh, Aurobindo Ghosh would be involved in it. And then there are other Ghosh also. A very important leader, Barin Ghosh. Okay, you can remember this name, Barin Ghosh, Aurobindo Ghosh, Barin Ghosh. And then there was Bhupendra. Let me just write the spelling again. Bhupendra Nath Datta. Bhupendra Nath Datta was also there in this. Okay, and then there was Raja Subodh Malik. Raja Subodh Malik. So he was also involved. So in formation of Jugantar as a secret society, there were a lot of people. Aurobindo Ghosh was there, okay, Barin Ghosh is there, Bhupendra Nath Datta is there, Raja Subodh Malik is there. That is how it is going on, okay. And all these people, actually, these people, a lot of other people from the various societies, okay, what happened that not just these, I mean everyone, like so many thousand of them, they were arrested. And when after there was a World War I, okay, and after the World War I, many of them were released, and most of them were actually released under General clemency. General forgiveness, right? Not the word clemency exactly, okay. And then general pardon was given. And what happened that these people joined, for example, a lot of these people joined NCM by Gandhiji. A lot of these people joined Chitranjan Das, who is also known as Deshbandhu, his Swarajya party. A lot of people joined that. Some of these people, they joined CPI. Some joined what is M.N. Roy's Radical Democratic Party. M.N. Roy, he started Radical Democratic Party. So people joined that. And then number 5, S.C. Bose, he started his forward bloc. See, this is the whole of the history actually, as told you. But a lot of people sooner or later joined one of these organizations because they were not really successful over here, okay. And what did these secret societies did? What was their main course of action? These secret societies, as I told you, they were into individual heroic action. So they would assassinate the informers. Assassinate whom? Informer, number 1. All the traitors, they would assassinate them also, because there were a lot of traitors also in India. They would do dacoities. Okay, what kind of dacoities? Those are called as Swadeshi dacoities. Swadeshi dacoities. That is what they were doing, okay. And then over here comes a very, very important person. Actually, there are 2 people, okay. One is the Sachin Sanyal. He wrote that book, Bandi Jeevan. Bandi Jeevan. Trust me, this book was the Bible, the Granth Sahib, the Gita, the Quran of the revolutionary nationalists. It was such an important book. Bhagat Singh was highly influenced by this book. He really read this book, okay. And then the other one was the Raj Bihari Ghosh. Okay, let me just write it properly. Raj Bihari Ghosh, right? And these 2 people over here, Sachin Sanyal and Raj Bihari Ghosh, they even tried to kill Lord Hardinge, who was the Governor General. Okay, and while he was riding some elephant in the state procession, he was going on. In fact, when the news of this goes to Lala Hardyal, I'll talk about him later on, right? When I talk to you about the Gadar movement, this incited Lala Hardyal. Lala Hardyal ji, he was a teacher, and he was a teacher over there in United States at Stanford University. And when Lala Hardyal came to know Sachin Sanyal and Raj Bihari Ghosh of act of throwing the bomb on Lord Hardinge, he was excited. His romanticism, he got like, I will go back to my country and serve. And that is how we will have all the talk about Gadar. We'll talk about this in detail when we talk about the Gadar party, okay, the Gadar movement, right? And then there was another important leader over here. His name is Shri Madan Lal Dhingra. Madan Lal Dhingra. See, there have been songs after songs written on what he did for the country, our country, and he assassinated Curzon Wily. Okay, he assassinated Curzon Wily, and this actually created ripples in the society. And after that, but then what happened, that the revolutionary nationalism or revolutionary terrorism, so called, this became very difficult in India, because Britishers were doing a lot of oppression. So it is not possible, because Britishers had all the force with them, they had all the money with them, so it was practically not possible to really fight with violence against the British. You can incite the minds of the people, but you also have to use that energy, and this becomes one of the reasons that revolutionary nationalism or revolutionary terrorism is not so successful in India. And that is why we will need a policy other than extremism, other than moderates, and other than the violence also, okay. And anyway, but then because these were not really happening in India, and many of them were running away, they had to hide themselves because Britishers were assassinating them. So many of them, they established their centers abroad. Okay, so now we are going to talk about what these were people, how they were trying to conduct the revolutionary nationalism from abroad, and a lot of people were involved in this, which were working from abroad. For example, there was Shyamji Krishna Varma, okay, and trust me, if this, no other man deserves respect like him. Shyamji Krishna Varma ji, okay, his contribution to revolutionary nationalism activities abroad is phenomenal. If you do not know his name, then you do not know history of revolutionary nationalism. How? I'll tell you what great things he did. Okay, I'll just talk about what those great things. Let me just clear this part. Okay, this is done. We are done with this, right? So what he all did abroad, we'll talk about that. Shyamji Krishna Varma, he established what is called as India House. Okay, India House, and this is in London, right? Right, this is in London, and he also established an anti-imperialist newspaper which was called the Indian Sociologist. The Indian Sociologist, and lot of British sociologists supported this newspaper and Shyamji Krishna Varma. For example, there was a very famous British sociologist, his name is Herbert Spencer. People who have studied sociology, they would know this name very well, Herbert Spencer. Even he supported Indian cause, okay. And then what happened, Shyamji Krishna Varma, he was a great admirer of Tilak, okay. And in fact, he also supported Tilak on age of consent bill, in which the age of sexual intercourse was raised. I hope you remember that bill, okay. Now after, he was also inspired by Swami Dayanand Saraswati when he read his book Satyarth Prakash Saraswati. And when he read his book Satyarth Prakash, he was very inspired by it, and he then actually goes after that he goes on to set the what is called as the India House. Why I call him one of the greatest nationalists ever born? Because he, through this India House, many revolutionary leaders of the future are to be born out of this. For example, people who stayed at this India House in London, they included people like Veer Savarkar, V.N. Chatterjee. See, these are very, very prominent names. You have to remember these names. You cannot say that I will remember few names. No. This can be asked in paper. Okay. V.N. Chatterjee, V.S.S. Iyer, Lala Hardyal. These are all the people who had been some way touched by the Shyamji Krishna Varma. Okay. Very important name. This has been asked in paper. P.M. Bapat. He was a great leader. And then Madan Lal Dhingra ji, okay, Madan Lal Dhingra, right? So songs have been written on whom? That is how it is. Okay, so that is how Shyamji Krishna Verma plays an important role in fighting the Britishers. And then after Shyamji Krishna Verma, there is another one over here. There is V.D. Savarkar, as I told you, Lala Hardyal, and there were others who were very very active, full scale into revolutionary nationalism. Well, apart from the names I have already taken, there was Bhai Parmanand. Okay, Bhai Parmanand. There was Lal Chand Falk. Lal Chand Falk. There was Sufi Amba Prasad. Sufi Amba Prasad. Very very important names. These people, you have to know these names. Their question will be very simple. Sufi Amba Prasad was a moderate leader. True or false? It's a false statement. Okay, such questions can be asked in your paper. Then comes a very very important person who is known as Madam Bhikaji Cama. Bhikaji Cama. Let's talk about her. Lot of people think Madam Bhikaji Cama was a foreigner. How foolish that is. Or she was a Parsi lady and she was born in Mumbai. And her husband, imagine the plight of her life. Her husband was a pro-British lawyer, and her married life was very very unhappy. She had to fight her personal level also to succeed. Even then she succeeded at the national level, right? And she was also in touch with Shyamji Krishna Verma, and when she was in London, she there met Dada Bhai Nauroji, okay? And see, she's a Parsi, Dada Bhai Nauroji is a Parsi. And then what happens that at that time Dada Bhai Nauroji, he was the president of British Committee of Indian National Congress. British Committee, if you remember, we did this in the beginning, that we have formed British Committee of Indian National Congress to put forward the Congress, the Indian viewpoint for in front of Britishers. Okay, and now she started acting as the private secretary of Dada Bhai Nauroji, Madam Bhikaji Cama, right? And along with she also started something known as the Home Rule Society. Okay, Home Rule Society. And this was by Madam Bhikaji Cama, Madam Cama, and there was another person. His name is Sardar Singh Rana. So he and Madam Bhikaji Cama together, they started this Home Rule Society, and this was in London. Please remember this thing. This can be asked in your paper, right? And she published and distributed. Do you remember the name of her newspaper? Vande Mataram. Vande Mataram. And that this Vande Mataram was because Britishers banned to sing Vande Mataram. She started newspaper Vande Mataram. When Madanlal Dhingra ji, when he was executed, she started a newspaper. It is known as the Madan's Talwar. Madan ki Talwar. Sword. Talwar means sword. Okay, for people who do not know the meaning of sword. Now, she participated in international conference, right, where that was in Germany. That was International Social Conference. Okay, International Socialist Conference, and this was in Germany. It was in Germany at Stuttgart, and there she raised the Indian flag. Okay, okay, what kind of flag it was? You can actually Google that flag. Okay, I'll just give you a rough idea, right? And what kind of flag it was? It was like this was all green color, right? And then there was this yellow color, probably, yeah, where it was yellow, and then below that it was red color. Okay, and then there was a sun on it, there was a moon on it, and in between over here it was written what is this thing, that Vande Mataram was written on it, and there was a design of lotus, and there was a sun and a moon on it. But she was a Parsi. Even then there was written Vande Mataram. So many people say that it is a Hindu call. So many people say it is because it is from Sanskrit, so it is not ours. You see, she's a Parsi. Later on we will find Sikhs singing Vande Mataram. Okay, the idea is, just because the term comes from Sanskrit, it doesn't make it a Hindu. Please try to understand, not to have a communal view of everything. Just because it is sources in Sanskrit doesn't make it a Hindu term. Vande Mataram, we worship the mother, That is what it just simply means. And she understood it. These people were highly secular people, okay. And she raised this Indian flag at that conference, okay. And revolutionary activities were carried in London, right. And later on, these revolutionary activities, because of Madam Bikaji Kama, were carried in many other places. For example, it was in France, it was in Switzerland, Germany, and of course in England, the revolutionary activities were being carried on, okay. Now there was another important person at this time. His name is Ajit Singh. In Europe there were lot of other people active, okay. I'll just give you a list of these people, or you must remember these names, okay. Ajit Singh was active there in Europe, right. And then there were many other leaders who were active on foreign lands. For example, there was Raja Mahendra Pratap. Raja Mahendra Pratap. You should at least should have heard of their names once, right. I'll tell you how this was a secular movement also. There was a person named as Abdul Rahim. He was there. There was Maulana. See, Muslims also contributing to this, okay. Maulana Ubaidullah Sindhi, that was his name, Maulana Ubaidullah Sindhi. Then there was Champa Karman Pillai. Champa Karman Pillai, right. Then there was Sardar Singh Rana. I told you his name already, okay. So but then in spite all these things happening, what is happening, that then what really all this led to, ultimately it was the climax of the revolutionary terrorism. It was the Gadar party movement, okay. Gadar revolution. Gadar, the word in itself means revolution, okay. So you always write, rather than writing the word revolution, you should prefer prefer writing word Gadar movement, okay, because Gadar in itself means revolution, okay. Now Gadar revolution we will discuss in the next lecture, and then we will see how Gadar revolution came and how it ended. It's almost, we are fighting everywhere. India, England, USA, Germany, France, Switzerland, all over the world we are fighting Britishers. We are raising awareness all around the world, and especially this movement outside India also really helps in arousing people outside India, and that also helps in contribution to of Gadar movement. And after this we'll study how the Gadar movement declined. So in the next lecture we'll see the decline of Gadar movement, and with Gadar movement also we'll see how the revolutionary nationalism had declined, okay. And then we'll see the end of it, and then we'll also see I'll ask you, was this revolutionary nationalism a failure? That is the question to be answered, right. So that was it in this lecture. And before I go, you people go, right, I just have one quick request. Please share this lecture on your social media, on your YouTube, Twitter, or Google Plus, right. And if you click just a quick like button that's down there, right, that will really help me know that you are understanding this lecture better. And if you want all these videos to come directly into your mailbox, then you will need to subscribe to us, and that you can do by clicking here, right. So that is all, and thank you so much for watching this lecture.